the colours have changed of the Northeast. No one thought the BJP would manage to get a foothold, and what they have right now is much more than just a foothold.
Right, Faye, this map is perhaps the most telling sign of the BJP's growth in the region. In 2014, now the green that you see is actually the Congress that had a tremendous hold in the Northeast. 4 years later, this is what the map of Northeast looks like. It's a saffron sweep all across. In a state like Tripura, where, you could never have even imagined that the BJP is a party that could have been in power. They've made inroads there. They have a chief minister in Tripura. They have a chief minister in Assam. They are allied with so many of the local parties there, and more importantly, they have the NEDA, which is a combination of a lot of the local parties there, which is part of a grander alliance in the Northeast. So the BJP's growth in the Northeast has been perhaps one of the most telling signs of the party's overall growth in its bid to shed this Hindi heartland image. And the Northeast, where 14 seats are going to polls today, is something that the BJP is going to be looking at to offset losses that happen elsewhere.
Absolutely. To offset those losses that happen elsewhere, Aarti, thank you for that, for those numbers. Krishna Bhattacharya joins us as well. He's a senior journalist. Mr. Bhattacharya, obviously, the BJP will want to hold on to the headway that it has made in the Northeast, but like Aarti was telling us, but will it manage to do so? Because both Vinay and Shikha feel that perhaps the mixed signals, they've upset their own allies. It's perhaps going to be a little more difficult than they've had it up till now.
Well, I think back situation was what was saying. We had what was very shaky ground, ownership level, and our updation had been enough problem for the BJP out there. It had lost science. All
right, we seem to have a problem with that audio. We'll have to come back to Krishna Bhattacharya. He's on Skype, and that doesn't seem to be a very clear, connection. Shikha Mukherjee, do you believe also, and if we bring up another question about the Northeast, on one side, if we look at Aarti's map, the one that she just put up, you can see that all the green turned to orange. But what happened to the green? Has the Congress completely lost its hold on the Northeast? Can the Congress make a comeback?
It's more a question of leadership issues in the Congress at this point. The Congress has leadership issues in Assam. It has leadership issues in Tripura, the two big states, and the Congress has leadership issues in Manipur, Mizoram, Meghalaya, Arunachal. Therefore, until and unless the Congress gets its leadership issues sorted, unless it finds new credible leadership to take over from those who have clearly failed the party in hanging on to the Congress's popularity in the region, and until it can come up with a policy that appeals to the Northeast, it really is going to continue to struggle to keep its presence even at the margins in that place.
Absolutely. Vinay, and here's the thing, everyone said up till now that this is going to be an election of the local or the regional parties. Is the Northeast also going to largely be about the regional parties and how they manage to do in this particular election?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it will be about them completely. And I think the question that you asked, Shikha, look, Tarun Gogoi has ruled Assam for decades now. And I think their failure to either build a second line of leadership or to not encourage them, actually sometimes actually discourage them, they're paying a very heavy price for that. I mean, Himanta Biswa Sarma was one such leader who had shown some bit of energy and promise, but then he left the party in a huff. I mean, he made a lot of statements about how he was treated, whether they were right or wrong, but the fact remains that the Congress was unwilling to give him the kind of responsibility or the next role that he was perhaps hoping for or expecting. Ironically, Himanta Biswa Sarma, now that he's the BJP, seems to be sulking a bit as well, because he was very clearly looking for a ticket this time. He didn't get that. Seen when he was first being asked this question on by many channels, he sounded a little irritable. He's now gone back into campaign mode. But clearly, ambitions of local leaders are a reality in politics, and I think the national party's failure to sometimes groom state-level leaders is a big factor. I mean, you see the same problem happening, for instance, for BJP in West Bengal. They don't have a local face, and in many states in India, you really need a local leadership. If you see in Punjab, the Congress tends to do well because Amrinder is a good, strong state leader. Rajshekhar Reddy, when he was alive, was a strong state leader in Andhra, and he ran the party very well. And the absence of local state leaders is more felt in perhaps Northeast, where each state, as I said earlier, is very different from another. And I think a lot of the national parties seem to not understand that Northeast is not one homogeneous whole. Every state is different, and you need locals who understand, who are perhaps part of those ethnic communities that dominate one state.